Hello and welcome to Structured Web's webinar training series. Today's topic is accounts creation and users login report in the Program Manager. We are continuing the series of webinars specifically aimed for vendors who actually do have access to the Program Manager. For today's agenda, first of all, we'll be navigating to the Reports tab in the Program Manager, and then we will dive into the accounts creation and users login report, as well as just reviewing the several segments of this accounts creation and users login report, such as the geographic analysis, accounts analysis, login by account, login by user, never logged in accounts, as well as never logged in users, and finally the user first login analysis. So let's just go ahead and get right to it. Now I'm already logged into my test account, my vendor test account in this case. As you can see, I'm logged into the Program Manager, the Accounts tab. So the first thing that we're going to do is simply look for the Reports tab here in our Program Manager scope. As you can see, it's on the far right. Let's go ahead and click on it, and you will see a drop-down list named Select a Report. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and select a report, and we're looking for the actually first on the list, which is the accounts creation and users login. So let's go ahead and click on that. And the system automatically starts loading the information. Now, keep in mind that this is a vendor test account. Therefore, there's limited data, but for training purposes, this will be more than enough. Now, as you can see on, as usual, on the left side of the screen, we have our filters. Filters that you can, basically play around with. Choose the beginning date and the end date, in which the system will search for the information according to those dates. Also by region, by program name, profile values, and region. Since this is a test account, it's very limited, but depending on how the account is set up, it could say NORAM, Latin America, Africa, Europe, etc., Asia, so on and so forth. Program names, in this case, we have some examples of program names here. So you can basically filter your search based on a specific program or programs, as well as profile values. It can be based on, in this case, for an example, partner levels, what departments, in this case, sales, countries, so on and so forth. It all depends on how your account is set up and the criteria set for modifying these filters. So as you can see, we are in the Overview subtab, and in the Overview subtab, we basically see a basic amount of information, in this case, for accounts and users alike. So as you can see, the first thing that you'll see is the number of accounts created, new accounts in this case. In this case, it says 17. The number of new users created, 28. And also it'll continue to break down as into the users that logged in at least once, the number of total logins, number of total logins within the last 90 days. So as you can see, there's a breakdown of even up to the time span in between logins, the average monthly user logins, and the average days since last login. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward information that can be helpful to give you an idea of how often users are actually logging in to the platform. You can also see graphs to better describe this information. New accounts associated by month. So in the month of January of 2016, there was one new account created. In April, also a new account created. So that just gives you an idea of how the information is broken down into these charts, as well as users. These are the number of users that have been created in a specific month. In this case, January 16, there were two new users created, and in April of 2016, there were also new users created, so on and so forth. Users logged in by month. You can see that 2 users logged in the month of April of 2016, and let's say 8 users logged in the month of May of 2018. So very simple breakdown of the information. Users logged in by day. In the last 0 to 30 days, 5 users logged in. In the last 31 to 60 days, 3 users logged in, so on and so forth. Then it also breaks it down to the users logged in by the amount of times. So 7 users logged in, 1 to 5 times. And then 15 to 20 times, 2 users logged into the system, 15 to 20 times. And lastly, users by days since the last login. So in the last 31 to 60 days, 2 users logged in 1 to 5 times. Okay, so in the last 91 to 120 days, 1 to 5 times, 3 users logged in, and so on and so forth. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and this is just an overview. You can find this information in the overview subtab here. You can also break down the information based on geography. This is a geographic analysis. We see the filters are still there. You can modify the search, with your filters. In this case, since it is a test account, the information is rather limited. The region is identified as null, so it's just an overall. So let's just say global information in this case for the entire world, if you want to put it that way. And here we have, just a more descriptive, if you want to put it, way of searching for information. We have Canada, the US, India, Australia, and it'll give you the information just by scrolling over the amount of new users created, new accounts created for that specific country, as well as the users that logged in. 14 users logged into 11 accounts in the United States. So same type of information for Australia, India, so on and so forth. So pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I think it can actually be very helpful, give you a better understanding of how users and accounts are being used across several regions of the world. And very similar to the overview, we have the amount of users that logged in 0 to 30 days. In this case, let's say, for example, if you had the option to select a specific region, like North America, then let's say we'll assume that this is North America. In the last 0 to 30 days, 5 users logged into accounts set up in North America. Okay, and the same thing with the number of logins. 7 users logged in 7 times. 7 users logged in 1 to 5 times if we say that the region is North America, in the North American region. So everything is set up just based on geography. And same thing, if you want to break it down by month, you can say, one user logged in the month of April 2016 in North American region, Latin American region, Asian region. Okay, we'll move on to the accounts analysis. So this is basically a breakdown of new users that were created by accounts. So 5 new users were created for the Tata Communications account. One new user was created for Kevin Kreiser and Company, so on and so forth. So very simple breakdown. Users logged in at least once. So 2 users logged in at least once in this test account on Seismic. 1 user logged in at least once in the LivePerson account. And top accounts contributing 50% of total user creation. Tata Communications has contributed a total of 50% with 5 new users, and top accounts contributing 50% of total logins. There is a partner company with 510 total logins, and which is amounts to 42.61% of total logins in this specific report. Now, that being said, it's also very important to remember that you can actually download all this information by simply clicking on the download button right here at the bottom of the page. You can download it by image data. Crosstab is actually a very popular choice. It'll basically download it as an Excel or CSV file, most likely a CSV file. So if you simply click on that, click download, and the system automatically downloads a CSV file with a breakdown of all the information, of basic information. In this case, since the report that we're looking at is rather limited, contains rather limited information, so there's nothing much that was exported there. But that's an example of how you would export report data as a CSV file. And we have a login by account, also gives you a breakdown of the number of logins for specific accounts, the number of new users created, number of new users logged in, total logins, the number of days since the last login. So very, it's just a further breakdown of the information that we've already mentioned before. Different format, it's, for some it might be a little bit easier to read and understand. And you also have the option to download. You actually have the option to download this information for all of these reports. A login by user. Again, further breakdown of the information login, but in this case is more user specific. So you have the username, the user ID, the user's email address, region, country, and when this specific user was created, the first date, the date in which the user first logged in, the last login date. So just a breakdown of the information based on the user as opposed to based by account, as we had seen previously. Never logged in accounts. This, again, pretty self-explanatory. It's just a summary of accounts in which users have never logged in. So in this case, Structure Web Test account, there's one user that belongs to this account, and this user has never logged in and hasn't done so in the past 106 days. Same thing for Rob Stutz and Company. One user belongs to this account and hasn't logged in at all in the past 63 days. So users that have never logged in. Users that have never logged in according to the account. So these accounts have not had users that have logged in at all. Same information, but this case it's user specific. These are users that have never logged in. Jillian Ordelan has never logged in. Amti Sharma has never logged in, and it gives you a breakdown of the days since this user was created into account XYZ. And user first login analysis. This is basically just lets you know the number of users and the percentage of users that actually logged in into the account based on month. So for example, on November of 2017, 100% of users, in this case, one user represents 100%. One user logged in November 17, and in December, that user returned and logged in, therefore it's 100% return. Same thing for January, February, March. This user did not log in at all in April nor May, so on and so forth. Another example would be on May 18th, 3 users logged into the account on May 2018. Only one user out of those 3 returned, meaning logged in to the account. That would be June. And then in July, again, only one user out of 3 logged in to the platform again. So it gives you an idea of how often and how many of your users are actually logging into the account, logging into the platform, and so on. So once again, all this information can be downloaded as an image, as a crosstab, as a PDF, and pretty simple, pretty straightforward information. Once you download that information, it'll just break it down in as an Excel or a CSV file. Okay, so that's pretty much it with regards to the accounts creation and users login report. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to give us a call, to contact us via email at service@structureweb.com. You can give us a call. We're available 24/5 at the following telephone numbers. We're also available via live chat, also available 24/5. Or you can visit our online support center at support.structureweb.com, where you will find a series of articles and videos that address not just this topic, but many other topics that may help you better navigate and take advantage of our platform. So thank you so much for joining, and you have yourself a great day.